Hi everyone, my name is Saleha I and welcome to Gupshup with Saleha. How are you guys? Are you okay? When was the last time you asked your family and friends this question? And more importantly, when was the last time you asked yourself this question? Tonight, we are discussing mental health and why mental health is as important as your physical health. Meet my guests, Dr. Mitali, a practicing psychiatrist, and Goutam Basak, an entrepreneur. Welcome to the shows, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
How are
Saleha.
you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Mitali, can you tell us something about yourself, please?
Well, Saleha, I come from India, Orissa in particular, and I trained in medicine there, worked for a couple of years before moving to Melbourne and completed my training in psychiatry here, and I'm practicing as a psychiatrist. Melbourne has been home to me for about 21 years now. And apart from working, I do have a few hobbies. In fact, sometimes I feel I have more hobbies than I have time for. As you know, I enjoy cooking.
Yes, I
I
do.
enjoy a lot of cultural things, including saris. I love gardening, and so that takes up a lot of time. Socializing is also an important
Yes,
part.
of
Yes.
course. Yes. Gautam, can you tell us a bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like born and raised in India, in eastern part of India, Kolkata, and then I came here to study, like many of the viewers here,
Yes.
and then I worked in different jobs, and now last 7 years I'm self-employed, and I'm not a psychiatric, I'm not a psychologist, but I was a patient by myself at one point of time. So that was my story. Should I tell like what happened
Yes, please,
then?
please. Can you share
Or
your experience? Yes, please.
okay. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of in this kind of situation, there are a lot of people losing their jobs or mainly sitting at home and doing mundane stuff every day, kind of made them crazy. So mental health is definitely a big issue. But what I learned from my experience is don't judge the reason. If someone is not right, just assess that. That's it. I mean, for some people, job may be an issue. For some people, relationship may be an issue. In my case, in 2012, 13, I put it this way: there are many things was happening in my life in 2012, 13, which are just out of control, beyond my expectation. Things are overwhelming. Things are not putting in the right place, and so all these things kind of mixed up. कोई कुछ सही नहीं हो रहा था, and in a span of more than 1 year or so. But first time ho raha tha, so I was not uh, I was not in a situation to judge कि मेरे को depression हो गया है. So after 1 year of cooking this whole thing in my head, जिसका एक परसेप्शन बाहर से ही आ रहा था कि मेरे को बातें करना आता है, मेरे को बातें करना अच्छा लगता है, लोगों से मिलना अच्छा लगता है, but I was kind of put myself into a cocoon and just don't want to go outside and face the world and stuff. So after 1 year I just met uh, और उस टाइम मेरे पास जॉब भी नहीं था. So whole year I was kind of out in and out of jobs. So I went to an interview one day, and it's funny because I went to an interview one day, and the owner, it was a small business, IT small business, and the owner actually kind of just chit chat with me, talking various things in my life and all these things. And after the interview, he said, first thing you should do, go and talk to a doctor. There is
Wow.
something not right in you. And that was the first time I met him in that. and and I basically I just asked him like, why you said that? I mean, this is the interview. He said, okay, don't judge me. I'm not saying anything, just go and see a doctor. And whatever you told me, whatever you're feeling, just tell him. And that's how I ended up going to a GP. And basically, the whole kind of treatment, so to speak, or rather, the awareness journey towards it kind of started.
Thank you, Gautam. It must have taken a lot of courage for you to speak up. Thank you very much for that.
No, it's all right. Yeah.
Mitali, why is looking after mental health so important?
Well, Saleha, lots of times we always think that mental health relates to our mental illness. It's not just the absence of mental illness, it's your mental well being. And mental well being is all about staying well, both emotionally, psychologically, socially, because that's what we are. And if we are in a good place, in a good mental space, then we are able to handle our life stresses easily. We are able to form social connections, social
Yes.
commitments. We look after all those things with ease, which can be very difficult when you're not in that good mental space.
Yes.
So unless we are in a good mental space, we can't handle stress, relate to others, and deal with our own life choices that we make.
Of
So
course.
it's very important.
Thank you, Mitali. We have a few questions because of privacy. I am not going to read out anyone's name. So, in case, guys, you want to send any questions, please feel free to do so. So, Mitali, everybody is stuck at home with no end in sight. Every day the pandemic is getting worse and the numbers are going up and up. What does one do to keep themselves happy?
See, basically, as humans, we are social creatures. And what this pandemic has done is isolate us more than 1.5 meters now, because we are
Yes.
Mhm.
not able to go out. We are just
Yes.
able to go out for basic necessities. Most of us are working from home. You have children, adolescents, toddlers, all working, all at home.
Yes. Yes.
We are not able to catch up with our friends or socialize on the weekends. We are not able to go out partying,
Nothing.
playing.
Yes.
So we miss all that. To add to that, there are other stresses that people are facing, like jobs, um, issues with jobs, not being able. So it's very important for us at this point of time to recognize that we are facing a lot more stress than our usual day to day.
Of course.
So how do we deal with this? If we are used to socializing, and now we have to distance ourselves physically, but we can still continue doing these things like we are doing a Gupshup now virtually.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
Yes.
Mhm.
I have noticed that a lot of people are now doing Zoom sessions with
Yes.
families overseas, catching up with friends internationally or across the borders, and
Yes.
find those are things that pick up your mood as well. You, the other thing that you can do is pick up those hobbies that you haven't had time for.
Yes. I've
So
started cooking.
excellent.
Mhm.
I've started reading more,
Yes.
doing a garden project. So these are things that you never have time for in your day to day life.
Yes.
But now that you're working from home and there's nowhere to socialize, you have your evenings and other times to spend on these sort of activities that you've always wanted to do but never had the time to.
Them to do. Yep.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's time to discover some new hobbies.
Mhm.
Of course.
Yes.
Mitali, what advice would you give to parents? So there are parents who basically fall, I'm thinking, under three categories. So, you have parents with toddlers, you have parents who have children in the age group of, say, 4 to 12, and then the teenagers. Each one has its own set of issues, problems. Teenagers can't meet their friends, they can't go out, they can't play sports. Same with the children between 8 to 12, they can't do any of that. And the toddlers need 24-hour care. So you also have parents who are working from home. How do you segregate that? What would you suggest?
That's very important, and it's a problem I think everyone is facing. But if you take it as a positive frame, in a positive frame of mind, you would never have had so much time to spend with your children as you are doing now.
That's right. Yes.
Teenagers, you would hardly see them. They
Not at
would be
all.
in and
Yep.
out of the house doing
Yes.
outdoor sports, going to the gym. Now they have time with the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So with them, maybe, you have to bring, this is an opportunity for us to become friends with them. While they are missing their friends, they might be
Mm.
able to appreciate you as a friend.
Yes. And
So
connect with them. Yes.
connect with them, do the things that they are doing, sit down and watch shows that they are watching. They
Mm-hmm.
may be
Of
watching
course.
Friends or,
Yep.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Game of
all
Thrones,
those
or is
things.
that long gone?
So they can bring up any show. I mean, you
Yes.
have to take some interest, and it's an opportunity for you to see what they are seeing,
Of
what
course.
they
Mm.
want to get. So um, you can do some board games with them, board games that you've stacked up in your garage and never used for a long
Yes.
time.
Yes.
These are the
Mm.
times to come out with them and spend some time playing family games,
Of course.
watching family shows.
Yeah.
With toddlers, it's a bit more difficult because you know they are not able to go out and play with them. But there's a backyard that you can go and play with them. You can also, if you have mother baby kids of those their age that as family friends, you can get them on Zoom. You can watch shows with them. You can do a little bit of outdoor sports in your own backyard or go for family walks, taking them with their bikes. Now, from today onwards, I think it's going to be a masked one.
Mm.
But nevertheless, you can still
Yes.
continue to do those things.
Of course.
Yeah.
Um, so we talked about parents just now. Gautam, this question is for you. So why is there still a stigma amongst us Indian when we need help with mental health issues? Why don't
Mm.
men want to talk about it? What is the stigma? Why don't they want to go and ask for help? You have done it, and you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, before come to like men and women, I just go little beyond than that, which is the kind of society we come from. I mean, we are Indian, so we come from in like collective society where we always like within our family, friends, and all. Whereas Australia, it's a very more individualistic country. Now, in any collective society, not only India, like China or Vietnam or any collective society, why people are collective? Collective means when you have less resources. So when you have less resources, you behave more collectively. And in any collective society, talking about mental health is a big thing because the moment they have any problem, they go to temple, they go to astrologer, they go to
Yes,
all these places rather than go to a doctor.
doctor.
This is
Yep.
a problem with across any collective society. Whereas individualistic society, because they have more resources, they behave that okay, we are well enough to kind of fight against the time or whatever. So for individualistic people or individual people, they are more prone towards seeking help when they have a problem. So individualistic people go more easily to the professionals than we collective people. Just imagine an Indian, we are Indian. Imagine we are in Kolkata or Bangalore. We I would have probably taken, 2, 3 years to go to a doctor. But now I'm in an individualistic society. So still it took 1 year, but at least I went. Okay.
Yes.
From from that to now the man woman thing, women are by default more social, more uh, they just genetically, they just prefer to share the feeling, the emotion and all. uh, like men talking typically is more transactional. I mean, one information is passed, one information is taken, so like that. And and that's why, jokingly, when men talk we have turns. When women talk they don't have turns, everyone is speaking,
Everyone talks together. Yes.
right? So women are more comfortable sharing their emotions and all these things, men are not. First of all, and secondly, typically in our Indian society, because the awareness about feminism and masculinity, or uh, you know all this awareness, all these openness are not there, and that is why I guess it's a major problem. I mean, though in every society now, men can cry, all these things are coming up.
Yeah.
um, I guess it's nothing to do with education, nothing to do. It's all about culture. It's all about the way, we kind of brought up, and the kind of awareness we have within ourselves. So, yes, I mean, from that angle, men are not very good, but it's all comes down to, I guess, the individual awareness.
So are you
So,
going to, are you saying men should seek help anytime that
oh yeah, for
they're
sure. I
not
mean,
feeling
what
well? Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I mean, if you are feeling not right, and this country is very good, you don't have to pay most of the
Yep.
time, right?
Yep.
If you're not feeling right, if some of your friends or family not feeling right, don't judge why they're not feeling right. वो motivational talk, अरे ये सब चलता है, we have a bad sense of ये चलता है type thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
don't just sit on it and वो चलता है, हो जाएगा, सब ठीक ठाक हो जाएगा, भगवान है, ये है वो. No, if you not feeling right, if your friends or family not feeling right, go and bloody seek help from a doctor. Just straight go to a GP. That's it. That's what I did,
Go
and
to
it
a
was a
GP.
big
Yep.
step. Yeah,
Go to your GP. If
go
you're
to a
not
GP.
feeling well, please go to
Yes.
your GP. Yes.
That's it. That should be the message. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
And I guess
Mitali,
you should be thinking like the stigma is there everywhere, but more so in the Indian society.
yes.
yes.
I feel that we always think ki log kya kahenge. If people
Mm-hmm.
hear, what are they going to say?
Hmm.
But that is something you don't need to think about when you're thinking about yourself, because once you are well, you are contributing in a better way to yourself, to your family, to the society.
And
So
Dr.
don't
Mittal
think
said it
about.
very right when you started the conversation. Like mental, uh, I mean, mental illness is like depression. What exactly you said? There's a difference between illness and not right.
Well, wellness.
Wellness. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
if
the
someone is
important
anxious or
not.
depressed, that doesn't mean they are ill.
Yeah,
Yes. Of course.
yeah, yeah.
Mitali, a lot of our viewers and many of our members in this group, they are international students of Indian origin and Indian background. Many are young families who may have just moved 6 months ago, or have just been married, and young women who have come to a totally new country, haven't had time to settle down, haven't had time to make friends. Young people, I just heard on today's news, just an international news a short while ago, that most people, but no, not most, sorry, many people between the age group of 19 and 44 are losing their jobs, and are at the risk of losing their jobs. So this makes them very vulnerable. What would you suggest? What can they do, especially for people who cannot go and meet their friends, don't have the social infrastructure, have just moved with kids and maybe just lost their jobs? What can they do?
Look, it's very important, as Gautam has pointed out. Getting help is available rampantly here. You have
Hmm.
GPs that you can go to, even if there is language problems. You can go to any GP. They can organize interpreters for you to be able to talk to you, and these things will not cost here. But it's
Yes.
important to seek that help. I have heard that there is a lot of um, support available in gurdwaras and things like that, that people are approaching for. But I have also heard that lots of people are suffering, international students who have come, have lost their part-time jobs, and they are struggling with the money. They don't feel like asking back for money from home, so they're struggling to make their ends meet here, and that is stress enough for them when without the supports. So it's very important to reach out to GPs. Are the first line, and they will do a wonderful job of connecting you to wherever you need to be, whether it's a psychologist or any social supports. So that's always
Dr.
available.
Mitali, sorry, I just want to add here as an experience, and that's what I kind of tell now. If someone is depressed or someone is anxious about what will gonna happen, um, as another human being, all we can do is just listen.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
Don't
listen to
judge,
them.
and just bloody listen. Let them yell out on you. Let them tell you like, okay, this is what I'm going, and keep just listening them.
Yeah,
That gives a lot of soothing, and few of my friends
absolutely.
did for me at that time, so utterly grateful for them.
True. And that is the basis of asking, are you okay? We
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
need
That,
to be
yep.
able to listen to what they are saying.
Yes.
yeah.
There are
Just uh,
all,
just venting out what they feel is sometimes enough for people
yes,
to,
to just make a connection.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and feel a
Yep.
bit better.
And we also have many free services, don't we? Like Lifeline and Beyond Blue.
Yeah,
So people can actually Google them, Google those organizations and get the numbers and
yeah.
speak with a counselor in
There are
case.
there's a kids helplines, there's youth helplines, Headspace, there's a um, men's helpline as well. So all these numbers can be available. They are 24-hour services,
And it's
and
free.
there'll
You
be
just
someone
can.
at
Yeah,
the other end
yeah.
just listening to you and probably guiding you as to what you need to do more, or they can even call back and have another chat with you to make sure you are okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Gautam, a quick question for you. When you went through your phase in 2012 and you were not well, did you go through any physical changes?
Yeah, physical changes, I guess now I can answer it in a more concrete way. So, because you are suffering inside from loneliness, from life is not happening the way you want it, so you always basically try to seek for something which is kind of softening you, which will help to soften you. Someone kind of give you bit of a maybe the happy hormone dopamine boost in your head. Okay, so that can be talking, that can be many other things. Okay, the physical changes, what I felt, I put on a lot of weight because food was became a big
Comfort.
Comfort.
Yes,
comfort for me.
yes.
um, Physical change, that was kind of it. I always had a like a like a headache, a dizziness, tired all the time. After like 10 hours of sleep, still, I mean, I felt like it's not enough sleep for me. Daily mundane activity, I mean, kids are there, wife is there. The mundane activity also took kind of a toll on me. Like, okay, I have to do it again, and all these things. And talking to people, talking to outside world was a massive struggle. So I was just comfortable sitting at home doing nothing.
But you've
And
overcome all of that and look where you are today. And you're talking about it openly and sharing your experience. So
oh
thank you.
yes, yes, maybe I came out, God grace, in a nice way. That's why, I have that, I got that strength to kind of come out and tell these stories. Otherwise I probably, wouldn't. But yeah, it's all right. It's good if my, experience is giving someone little bit of confidence, little bit of hope. Why not?
So, yes, so there are a few live numbers that we have, which will come up on the screen right now. So anybody who needs help, please call up these numbers and talk to people. There are people out there who will help you. Um, Mitali, what is the last advice, suggestion that you will give people who are not in a happy place at the moment?
The most important thing is to seek help. It's available. You should not hesitate to seek help. Don't think what people will think. Don't think about stigma. It's helping you to help yourself.
Yes.
So seek help, go to the GPs, talk to them, or talk to any friends if you have, and be guided by your doctor, your psychologist, and if needed, psychiatrist. So definitely seek help and don't keep it to yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Gautam, what?
and please, yeah, please, I mean, whoever, like international student or a newly married or a, like, people with kids and like a couple with kids and all, I mean, one great thing is, like, my wife actually supported me a lot. So if you are surrounded by whoever people, if you are feeling that way, please try to support that.
Talk to
It's not a very good place to be,
them. Mhm.
mentally and physically. Yeah.
Thank you. Mitali, I have a question from a viewer who
Mhm.
says lack of social contact has a big impact now because of the lockdown. Could that also be another cause for mental illness? If so, how does one cope? I think you've answered this question, but if you can just
Yeah.
reiterate one more time, please. Thank you.
So it does make you vulnerable to feeling low in your mood because, as I said, we are all social animals. So lack of that does tend to affect people, which is why you do it virtually or to keep in contact with others, talk over the telephone, pick up a phone and talk to a friend,
Yes,
or talk to your family back home, or make new friendships. Social media and telephones and internet has made the world very small, so you can pick it up and use it to get that social connectedness.
of course. Thank you, guys. We are running out of time. Thank you for joining me on Gupshup with Saleha. Thank you for coming. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank you
inviting
for
us,
having us.
Saleha.
Thank you.
It's good. I hope that everyone will keep the gupshup on
I
between
hope so
themselves.
too.
Yes.
And to my viewers, thank you for joining in. I hope you found this session useful. I will see you next Wednesday for another round of Gupshup. In the meantime, stay well, stay happy, take care
Take
of
care.
yourself, and be kind
And
to people. Good night, Melvin. Bye.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.